of controlling black slaves. I guarantee every one of you, if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I take these differences and I make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. I want you to listen. What are those three things? Fear, envy, distrust. For what purpose? Control. To control who? The slave. Who is the slave? Us. Listen. He said, these methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and they will work throughout the South. Now, take this simple little list and think about it. On the top of my list is age, but it's only there because it starts with an A, and the second is color or shade. There's intelligence, sex, size of plantation, status of plantation, attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley or on a hill, north, east, south, or west, have fine hair or coarse hair, or is tall or short. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy is stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. The black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry it on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years. Now don't forget, you must pitch the old black male against the young black male, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the female against the male, and you must use the male against the female. You must use the dark-skinned slave against the light-skinned slave, and the light-skinned slave against the dark-skinned slave. You must also have your white servants and overseers distrust all blacks, but it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. Gentlemen, these keys are your keys to control. Use them. Never miss an opportunity. And if used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. Thank you, gentlemen. End of quote. So spoke Willie Lynch 283 years ago. And so as a consequence, we as a people now have been fractured, divided, and destroyed, filled with fear, distrust, and envy. Therefore, because of fear, envy, and distrust of one another, many of us as leaders, teachers, educators, pastors, and persons are still under the control mechanism of our former slave masters and their children. And now, in spite of all that division, in spite of all that divisiveness, we responded to a call. And look at what is present here today. We have here those brothers with means and those who have no means, those who are light and those who are dark, those who are educated, those who are uneducated, those who are business people, those who don't know anything about business, those who are young, those who are old, those who are scientific, those who know nothing of science, those who are religious and those who are irreligious, those who are Christian, those who are Muslim, those who are Baptist, those who are Methodist, those who are Episcopalian, those of traditional African religion. We got them all here today.
Go ahead, brother.
And why did we come? We came because we want to move perfect union. And if you notice, the press triggered everyone of those divisions. You shouldn't come, you're a Christian, that's a Muslim thing. You shouldn't come, you're too intelligent to follow hate. You shouldn't come. Look at what they did. They excluded women, you see? They played all the cards. They pulled all the strings. Oh, but you better look again, Willie. There's a new black man in America today. A new black woman in America today. Now, brothers, there's a social benefit of our gathering here today, and that is that from this day forward, we can never again see ourselves through the narrow eyes of the limitation of the boundaries of our own fraternal, civic, political, religious, street organization, or professional organization. We are forced by the magnitude of what we see here today, that whenever you return to your cities and you see a black man, a black woman, don't ask him what is your social, political, or religious affiliation, or what is your status. Know that he is your brother. And if he needs help, you are obligated to help your brother because he is your brother. You must live beyond the narrow restrictions of the divisions that have been imposed upon us. Well, some of us are here because it's history making. Some of us are here because it's a march through which we can express anger and rage with America for what she has and is doing to us. So we're here for many reasons, but the basic reason that this was called was for atonement and reconciliation. So it is necessary for me, in as short a time as possible, to give as full an explanation of atonement as possible. As I said earlier, atonement is the 5th stage in an 8-stage process. So let's
Greetings, beloved. I begin in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. I bear witness that there is but one God. Welcome to the Black Agenda here on the Street 919 FM. I am Brother David Muhammad, and I'm going to be in studio with you up to 9 o'clock this morning, inshallah. And in a short while from now, I will open up the telephone lines and take your calls on 342-0081 and 466-5391. You can also send messages directly to me on 332-0214. And we are streaming live on the Facebook page of the Street 919 FM. All right, people. I want to start off making a key point. We have been having these conversations about reparations for crimes against humanity against African people. And of course, CARICOM, through Professor Hilary Beckles, came up with a 10-point plan of action for reparations. I've spoken about this on several occasions. But I want us to focus in on point number 5. of the reparations plan that all 15 heads of government of CARICOM unanimously agreed to. And point number 5 is the public health crisis. The fact that the descendants of African people who were enslaved have come across a number of health challenges, and this is seen as a direct result of us making contact with the Europeans who colonized and enslaved us, and now it has been listed as part of what they must bear the responsibility for, or the culpability for, as part of the compensation for slavery. Point number 5 on the 10-point reparations plan: the public health crisis. Because there are basically 3 key indicators for the health of a community. The first one is the death rate. The second one is the infant mortality rate. And the third one is the morbidity rate. And when you isolate the black community within a multicultural cosmopolitan society, you will see that our death patterns are different. And so we now have to think about how to eat to live, how to survive. What are our unique issues and challenges? What health strategies and techniques and approaches to medicine and healing should we be gravitating towards? I want you to think about this, that the public health crisis of African people, the descendants of slaves, is considered to be an issue of damage that took place as a result of us being conquered by white people. The leading causes of death among black people in the Western Hemisphere are heart disease, cancer, strokes, unintentional injuries, diabetes, chronic lower respiratory disease, kidney diseases, homicide, sepsis, and Alzheimer's disease. Some of these we are in much greater control of than others. But all of these are sicknesses, and the black-on-black homicide rate is a symptom of a mental sickness. But we have to start thinking about African healing, because it has been acknowledged that our poor state of health is not by accident. The death rate, or crude death rate, refers to the number of deaths in any given year for every 1,000 people in a population. The infant mortality rate is the number of deaths among infants aged under 1 year for each 1,000 live births given in a year. And the morbidity rate is the rate of illness experienced by individuals in a society. Dr. Kenneth Davis, in 2009, reported that black people have the highest rate of high blood pressure of all racial groups and tend to develop it younger than others. All right. So high blood pressure should be something that we are looking at, instead of saying, okay, well, we're not interested in our issues, we're looking at the whole country. Oh, please. In 2002, in the United States, more than 2.5 times as many African-American newborn babies died. That's 14 per 1,000 live deaths as white newborns. The cause of these deaths are many. Many of the causes of infant death can be prevented through good prenatal care. Again, These are our issues, our problems, our challenges. According to the Center for Disease Control, an article entitled Health Disparities Experienced by Black or African Americans in the United States, both African American females and males suffer disproportionately from a variety of cancers as compared to their white counterparts. Some examples of this for black women: well, out of 100,000 black women, 54 of them will suffer from colon rectal cancer as compared to 43 white women. Out of 100,000 black women, 13 will suffer pancreatic cancer as compared to 8 white women. Additionally, even though deaths caused by breast cancer have decreased among white women, black women continue to have higher rates of mortality from breast and cervical cancer. For black men, 251 per 100,000 black men in America suffer from prostate cancer as compared to 167 per 100,000 white men. 108 per 100,000 black men suffer from lung or bronchus cancer as compared to 72 white men. 68 out of 100,000 black men suffer from colon rectal cancer as compared to 58 per 100,000 white men. And all of these statistics, when you trace the root or history of them, a lot of it is lifestyle choices, but also environmental and institutional factors. From since the days of W.E.B. Du Bois, who's the father of black sociology, looked at something called redlining. Now, I want you to think about this, because here you have systems in place that contribute towards our demise, institutional factors that we voluntarily ignore because we don't want to come across as racist. It is one of the stupidest things we could ever imagine, because it's linked to our very death. This redlining is a deliberate infrastructural mischief that is done by the government in America over black communities. It's supposed to be outlawed, but it still exists in intent. Redlining was a discriminatory practice in which services, financial and otherwise, were withheld from potential customers who resided in neighborhoods classified as hazardous to investment. These residents largely belonged to racial and ethnic minorities, in particular black communities in America. While the most well-known examples involved denial of credit, denial of insurance, denial of health care, and the development of what is called food deserts in black communities, have also been attributed to redlining in many instances. Now think on this. This term redlining was a literal term, not just a figurative term, a literal term, where local government officials and policymakers would literally take a map and draw a red line around communities where black people were in the majority, and then establish policies to prevent access of certain goods and services into those communities for those peoples. Many African American politicians were voted into office to help correct some of these issues. And it was a long, long, long struggle. In President Obama's audiobook, Audacity of Hope, I believe it was in that, he spoke about it as well. But this practice, in the long term, was responsible for death, sickness, both short-term and long-term illness, and educational underachievement, as well as economic and financial disempowerment and disenfranchisement. That you can red line a community, restrict them. They don't even know what's going on the inside of the community, but you restrict them. And then, when things go wrong for them, you blame them. Now, this is largely how East Port-of-Spain has been treated, but without even doing the physical redlining. You identify a residential area as hazardous to investment. And the people who live there are denied of credit, insurance, healthcare, and the idea of food deserts. Today is African Expo number 10 at the Kwame Ture Center. Yes, 10. We've had 10 African Expos. 10. Well, by the end of today, inshallah. We had 9 so far. Today's number 10. The first African Expo that we had 15 merchants and vendors. 15, 1-5. The last one that we had last month, we had 50 merchants and vendors. Come first week in January, we are starting a project to tile the floor of the Kwame Ture Center. For those of you who have visited the Kwame Ture Center, you will see the flooring is a terrazzo paint. So the floor, of course, is concrete. We casted it, smoothed it out, leveled it off, put the sheen on it. Then we put the floor covering, the terrazzo paint. But if you visit there, hopefully you'll visit us today, and take a look at the floor. In fact, we want to do a film. We want to film the floor. I'm making a point here. We want to film the floor in the main auditorium, because several parts, especially in the areas where we have the classrooms, the flooring has been stripped, completely stripped, due to high volume, heavy people traffic. Thousands of footsteps over the last 3 years, in and out of that building, up and down on that floor, throughout that auditorium. The conference room that we have is tiled, but not the main auditorium, which is, the main auditorium itself is about 4,400 feet. The whole building is 6,000 square feet. Now, let me tell you. In fact, I don't even have to tell you. But of course, we started that project in 2015. 6 years ago. We opened the building in 2018. I don't have to tell you what the natural response was from a lot of people. Why do you want to put up a building there? Why do you want to construct an education center there? And the The standard cry was, no one will come. The people won't come. On average, every single week, we have people come into that building who not only are they coming to the building for the first time, we're not talking about regular people who visit there, who work there, who take classes there, who attend lectures there, who conduct teachings and seminars there. I'm not talking about the regular people. I'm talking about people who set foot in that building for the first time ever. Not only do we have, on average, on a weekly basis, new people who come to the building for the first time, we also have new people who've come into the area for the first time ever. We have people who probably would not have even thought of venturing not just to the building but in the area, in the community. And people with their negative, poisonous, toxic, self-hating spirits. So many tried to do everything that they possibly could for it not to succeed. Well, opening day, you'd have seen close to 1,000 people out, no room inside. Our auditorium could pack in 700 people. The conference room could pack in another 100 or so. Hundreds of people outside the building who couldn't fit in. May 26, 2018. And on a number of occasions, we filled that auditorium. We had the funeral of Brother Spanner. And so, I mean, it was just so many occasions people have come there. And when you have those kinds of events, if you do a survey in the crowd, if 500 people attend, at least 100 or so have never been there before. And out of that 100 have never been to the building before, at least half of them never been to the area before. So, first week, well, not the very first week, but in January, we intend to start tiling the main auditorium. We will suspend operations in the main auditorium. Like I said, we have the conference room. And for about 2 to 3 weeks, we won't be having any major events in the main auditorium. And we will be putting down those tiles. And as we said, even if we have just one tile. We're doing fundraising. For those of you who come through today, you can give your contribution towards the tiles. We're asking people to buy 10. It's coming up to $75 a tile. Those are the 24-inch by 24-inch or 4 square feet. And the tiles are $67. Plus, when you calculate the grout and the thin set, it's actually going to come up to more than $75 because we're giving someone, one of our people, a contract, not hiring day labor, a contract to put down those tiles. We have to purchase 1,000 tiles. 1,000 tiles, 2 feet by 2 feet. 24 inches by 24 inches. Good quality. Porcelain tiles. Give that place a whole new look and a whole new feel. But what I want us to focus on, the point that I'm making, is where we started. And you know what I used to say? Some of you will remember back in 2014, 2015, 2016, that look, even if when we put up this building, even if we don't do anything in the building, even if we don't have any classes, no lectures, no meetings, no seminars, no business expos, no counseling, no public speaking workshop, no holiday camps for the children, even if we didn't do any of that, that building would stand as a symbol of black power and African unity, of what we as a people are capable of achieving when we come together. People used to talk about the gang war. Oh, there's a gang war and you'll get shot and kidnapped and there's all kinds of oh, come on. Well, it's been what, 6 years? Not one incident or negative vibe or nothing. I mean, we've had some times now. But in that building, there was a wedding there about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We've had about 4 weddings, 3 funerals, I think 3 birthrights, 10 African expos, 3 African Unity conferences, 2 series of public speaking workshops, and if I add up, I'll probably come up with over 1,000 hours of classes, free classes for the students, maths and English, literature, human and social biology, social studies, accounts, principles of business, study skills, African history. Thousands of hours. The children's holiday camps. Listen, we have had children at that building for the first holiday camp who literally were children who look like grown adults now. Time is flying by. But if we pool our resources and come together, there's so much that can be achieved. So in Trinidad, in East Port of Spain, it's almost like there's this redlining without actually drawing the red line. It was in the district offices that they will literally take a map and draw, this is where the black people live, and isolate it and restrict opportunities. Don't take my word for any of this, you check it out yourself. In the case of retail businesses like supermarkets, the purposeful construction of stores impractically far away from targeted residents resulted in a redlining effect. Food deserts. Look at East Port of Spain. And look at how much food we consume in comparison to how much food we grow. There's an agricultural project that we're working on in East Port of Spain. The idea is not just to grow food, to have food to eat, but it's to pass on to the youth the culture of agriculture, the independence of food production. Like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in message to the black man, said land is the basis for independence. You know what the first kind of land he bought was? Not land to build a big, nice house. The first land that the Nation of Islam purchased was farmland. Owning farmland was considered to be a higher priority than even owning land to live on. Let us get farmland first, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. And after they bought hundreds of acres of farmland, the next step was to open a supermarket. black-owned supermarket, not selling any pig, not selling any alcohol. And we are not the kind of people to say, well, we don't drink alcohol, but our people are drinking it, so we're going to sell it in the last aisle. Hell no. You want for your brother what you want for yourself. This is why I can't be in any offices of some of you politicians, because that's my belief. So we get farmland, grow produce, then open a supermarket and sell the produce that we grow on the shelves of the supermarket that we built. And then the next step is to open a restaurant. And the food that is served in the restaurant that we own was off the shelves of the supermarket that we built and that we own. And the food on the shelves of the supermarket came from the farmland that we purchased. Black independence. Black power. Then they open a bakery. Then a garment construction store, clothing stores. First selling the fabric, then selling the finished products. And Elijah Muhammad did all of this, but guess what he had to do alongside all of that? Think, beloved. Do you think you can get the minds of black people liberated to the degree where they're anxious to purchase farmland, grow food, then open a supermarket, from the supermarket open a restaurant and a bakery, and then open clothing stores? Do you think you can get black people that conscious from sending them to get the white man's education? So no, he had to start building schools, educating our black children, so that the consciousness can be carried on from generation to generation, so that when those children get older, they can think about entrepreneurship, business ownership, land ownership, instead of thinking about, let me try and get a job from one of these good Syrians. Let me see if I could be a supervisor. You with your degree and master's and PhD, you want to work for the Syrians or work for the Chinese or work for the whites. Bless your heart. But we need a consciousness in our education. We had a great week at the Kwame Ture Center because we welcomed in 2 batches of about 40 students each. Secondary school students for the African History Month displays. Remember, I don't care if you heard me say it before. I'm drumming it in your head because you're not hearing it anywhere else. That November in Trinidad and Tobago is African History Month, started by 3 great black women. Asha Cambon, wife of Brother Kafra Cambon. Sister Pat McLeod, wife of black businessman I.T. McLeod. And Sister Maureen Thompson, one of the greatest researchers that we have in this country on black business. Those 3 sisters in 1987 established November in Trinidad and Tobago as African History Month because the traditional February month in Trinidad has too many distractions, and also we have the teaching opportunities for an entire month in November to go into the schools, as I have been doing for about the last 10, 15, 20 years. But over the last couple years, we've been doing it a bit differently. Even though in 2019, I think I've spoken about 5 schools, mainly down in the South for African History Month. We have some wonderful footage. But, of course, with the pandemic, you know how that goes. But we welcomed in 2 batches of students, and my favorite presentation to give to the students with the PowerPoint on the screen is the cities in Africa. I also did the great black inventions. And again, looking at these students, 15, 16, 17 years old, coming in, seeing that for the first time. And I'm thinking, How could so many of our students be in all of these schools? All of these schools across the nation. And the first time that you hear about the glory of Africa is when you come on a field trip to the Kwame Ture Education Center in Success, Laventille. That should not be. All of these African children, with all of these African teachers, with all of these African officials within the educational system, it should not be. Although, of course, we are happy to host our people, but it should not be that with all your education, all your time spent in the system, first time you're going to hear as a student that a black man named Louis Latimer invented the light bulb, a black man named Granville T. Woods drew the design for the telephone and the railway, a black man named Garrett Morgan invented the traffic lights and the gas mask, a black man named Charles Drew invented the blood transfusion, a black man named Jay Standard invented the refrigerator, a black man named A. Miles invented the elevator, a black man named J. A. Burr invented the lawnmower, and the list goes on and on and on. How could you have 7 years of secondary school education and only hear those things for the first time when you visit the Kwame Ture Education Center? Should not be. Like I said, we're happy to host you. But all of that should be taught within the system. All right, so support our drive to tile the floor. Come out and support the African Expo today, number 10. There's so much great stuff that's going to be there. But I want you to make a contribution to the tiling of the floors, which we're going to start in January. In fact, you know what? Here what? I'll make a deal with you. Come to the center and look at the floor. And think of how many feet would have, and over what period of time would have had to have been walking up and down, in and out of that building for the floor to get in this state. We have resurfaced it a good couple times. Well. As a matter of fact, before the last African Unity Conference that we had, so we would have only hosted two. 2018, which is the opening, and 2019. So 2020, right, that was a pandemic. So before the African Unity Conference, 2019, we would have resurfaced the floor with the terrazzo paint. Before Eid, our Eid celebrations, we didn't have one last year. And I think the lockdown started just before Eid, the year before that. But the Eid celebration that we had, we would have resurfaced parts of the floor. But come and see it for yourself as a testimony to the work that we're doing. And I always focus more on doing the work than talking about the work, but I'm talking about the work now so that you can support it. Because trust me, there are young people who are going to be becoming great at that center who have not even been born as yet. We have some 15, 16, and 17-year-olds who would have first come around when we opened, who are now 20, 21. The young people are growing so quickly. Of course, my weekly lectures are back on and running. Sunday mornings, 11 o'clock. So that's tomorrow. But I want us to focus on this tiling mission. So they ensure that impoverished communities are food deserts, so that the bulk of the masses of the people leave their communities to spend money. Think. So imagine you have 10,000 poor people living in an area, and the majority of them leave that area to go and spend money with the rich people. Now, we already know, yes, there are government policies in place. There's institutionalized preference to the rich by the banks, by the financial institutions. We already know that the system favors the rich. But let us favor ourselves. Come together, unite, settle our differences, put the guns down, pool our resources, make ourselves prosperous. Okay, so the banks may not want to give us loans. The government may not want to support our initiatives. But let's support each other. It's so simple. So in redlining, they make the poor communities into food deserts so that the majority of the people spend their money outside. And then reverse redlining occurred when a lender or insurer targeted majority/minority neighborhood residents with inflated interest rates by taking advantage of the lack of lending competition relative to non-redlined neighborhoods. The effect also emerged when service providers artificially restricted the supply of real estate available for loanable funds to non-whites, thus providing alternative pretext for higher rates. Neighborhoods which were targeted for blockbusting were also subject to reverse redlining. You living in the ghetto, not seeing that decisions are being taken in offices outside of where we live to institutionalize the poverty, institutionalize the difficulties, institutionalize the hardship, and spread the pain. And in our societies, in Caribbean societies, because of a post-colonial thinking structure, they don't even have to do the redlining. It is done naturally with the attitudes of those who are decision makers in positions of authority, especially the mayor's offices, who are seen as servants to the businessmen, just like the politicians. We'll be back, and I'll take your calls in the second hour. Stay with us, don't go away.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
They say Georgia them causing plenty bacchanal in the place early Christmas morning. Christmas morning. A man and the wife end up in a fight cause out left and right. The man feels she horning. She horning. He tells she do darling, it's Christmas time. You bring me gift from your heart, I bring from mine. Anything you want, honey, I will spare a dime. Tell me what you want for Christmas. Tell me what you want for Christmas. She said, I want clothes, I want shoes. Don't pick up nothing, honey. I want shoes, I want house, I want land. The man gets some breakfast, say, well, it's best you go and let I want buy that for you. Oh, Christmas morning, I want how you name calling so. And I want that, I want this, and I want that. You bring your ham and sorrel, we bring me shak shak and quattro. I want this, and I want that. I want this, and I want that. What you want, what you want, what you want, what you want, what you want. Ayo. They say church and them causing plenty pain and suffering early Christmas morning. Christmas morning. People want to know what causing it wrong, whether it's issue or a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. The man make up to his wife and apologize. Go and make she breakfast as a surprise. Wifey meet him in the kitchen as soon as she rises. He said like
for a safe and relaxed professional massage therapist and nutritionist? Look no further. Nature's Touch with Empress Judy and Associates offers a natural approach to better health. Treat yourself to a professional massage therapy and nutrition advice in a safe and relaxed atmosphere. Rejuvenate your body, mind, and soul at Nature's Touch Therapy. For an appointment, please call or WhatsApp 1-868-398-8282 or visit our Facebook page. Remember, your health is our responsibility at Nature's Touch.
From the studio to the stage, every Friday between 3 to 4 p.m. right here on the street, 919 FM. Radio you can see. Log on to our Facebook and YouTube so you can see live interviews and performances from some of our very own local superstars. Right here on the street, 919 FM.
What is Apex? It is the pinnacle of high-performance vision through a lens. It's clarity, no matter what angle you look at. It's comfort, no matter what you do all day, every day. And it's customized, with every digital measurement your eyes require to see at their very best. Apex Digital Lenses by Value Optical, the ultimate lens design for your eyes. Value Optical, expert care for your eyes.
The Street 919 FM is bringing the Christmas spirit right into your homes, vehicles, and on your mobile phones like never before. Hey, Christmas time with the best Soca Parang mix. Yes, join this exciting segment, Parang Soca Fever, every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 9:45 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 6:45 p.m. until Christmas. This is Christmas, so have a Merry Christmas. Right here on your favorite Christmas station, The Street 919 FM. This is Christmas, as we dream Christmas. Sponsored by Shandy and Royal Cast. All culture, all taste.
The National Congress of the Incorporated Spiritual Baptist Organizations in Trinidad and Tobago celebrate the 70th anniversary of the repeal of the Draconian Prohibition Ordinance of 1951. The observances continue on the Iwer stage on Thursday, 2nd of December 2021 with the St. Tobias Spiritual Baptist Church of the Spiritual Metaphysics under the leadership of Bishop Earl Pear and courtesy His Eminence Patriarch Dr. Stephen F. Julian. Showtime 6:30 p.m. Join us and share the live. Watch us on your favorite social media platforms. Facebook at The Street 919 FM and on YouTube at iwatv/The Street 919 FM.
It's Extra Foods Plenty for 20 season to remember with savings. Swiss macaroni 5 for $20. Best dried pigeon peas 4 for $20. Carrots per pack 5 for $20. Blue Band margarine 3 for $20. American Classic Cola 2 liter 3 for $20. Sunshine Nutty Flakes 12 for $20. Holiday Tortillas 7 for $20. And Fruit Juices apple or orange 9 for $20. Yes, it's the season for Plenty for 20 specials, and sale runs November 26th to December 6th. Extra Foods, always extra for less.
Blessings in the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You are invited to listen to the Final Hour broadcast heard every Monday from 12 midnight to 5 a.m. in the morning on the Street 919 FM radio. Hear my mom, Pastor Helen Garcia, and myself, Pastor Valentine Garcia Jr., preach the Word of God to the elderly, youth, and children. We can be contacted at 629-0113 or 623-8444. The church is located at 26 Prince Street in Port of Spain. We look forward to you joining us. God bless you.
As my life I lay it on the altar, as my life.
After all the talk during the week, don't switch off on the weekend and keep it on the street. It's classic soca and classic kaiso when you're liming with the live wire on Saturdays from 5 to 7 p.m. only on the Street 919 FM.
Welcome the Christmas holidays this year with quality and attractive furniture from Stylist Furniture Limited. 2 locations, 51 Rushwood Street, San Fernando, and 101 Crackness Village in Princestown. Select from a wide range of contemporary furniture to enhance your homes. Now open on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call today, 652-2542. Season's greetings to all our customers and friends from Stylist Furniture Limited. Stylist Furniture Limited. For this time in you.
Better vision for your physical eyes, and through the eyes of faith, let healing arise in your mind, body, and spirit. At Natural Heal Ministries, we teach kingdom principles for living that brings the blessing of God to your mind, body, and soul.
NHM Professional Associates are located at number 10 Moody Stewart Street, Monrepos, San Fernando. For more info, contact Dr. Desmond Phillip at NHM on 349-3494.
NHM Professional Associates can be heard live on the Street 919 FM every Saturday from 9:05 to 9:55 a.m.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Demanded. Brotherhood is obligatory. Black man get up, black man stand up, black man you better listen. So there's a need for brotherhood. Black man get up, black man stand up, black man you better listen. Black man get up, black man stand up, black man you better listen. Brotherhood is demanded. Black man get up, black man stand up, black man you better listen. Brotherhood is required. Brotherhood is demanded. Brotherhood is obligatory. Brotherhood is essential, it is urgent, and it is compulsory. But the time demands brotherhood. Whenever the dominant white society fears for its economic future, racial tensions are always aggravated. The aim of Almighty God is to bring the black man and woman together. The aim of Almighty God is that we, no matter how divided we have been in the past, must experience unity in order to gain the success that we seek and the progress that we desire. There is no way that a divided people can build a future.
Welcome back, and welcome to the second hour of the Black Agenda on this Saturday morning. We're going up to 9 o'clock. Remember, today is African Expo number 10, and we look forward to welcoming you at the Kwame Ture Center today, throughout the day. We've been there since last night, and it's going to be a great day. It's our last event, really, for African History Month. Remember, November in Trinidad and Tobago is African History Month. So come out today, support the merchants, the vendors, the small businesses, the displays that are giving information. We have the book, Black Studies, Knowledge is Power, Black Youth at Risk. The 3 books for the special package of $400. So they are $760 for the 3 books. You can get them all 3 for $400. That's a special offer. And some of the people who have been purchasing books online overseas, those who've made direct contact with us, we've offered them. I mean, people ready to, basically every Wednesday after my Facebook Live presentation, people who purchase books online. And to those who contact us directly, we make that special offer available for them. We say, okay, look, we'll send you all 3 books for this price. And these are people who are ready to purchase them at the full price. So come today, you'll get the 3 books, Black Studies, Knowledge is Power, and Black Youth at Risk, from juvenile delinquency to criminal gang activity, based on my PhD research, all 3 for $400. All right, and of course I have my lecture tomorrow, 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, for our weekly Nation of Islam meetings. And yeah, these are the last few days of African History Month. It was a great one. It was a great one, in spite of everything. All right, so let's go to the phone lines. 342-0081 and 466-5391. Let's see how many we can get through. Caller, good morning.
Love and blessings, my brother.
How are you doing?
I give thanks to the Most High. I continually don't know how I like.
Excellent,
roll
excellent.
This dice, you know, that's serious dicey road.
Good to hear from you.
Nice to hear too. You know, and the conscious vibe, you know, you understand, like we want some ties for the floor. And ties the floor in the yard.
Yes, sir.
There's progress, you know, for an advancement.
That's right.
More comfort for the youth, one.
Exactly. Upgrade.
So, yeah, you gotta come forward and do some contribution. No time in after that. Respect. Love, love, love.
That's it. And you know, let me say this, huh? We've had 3 visitors from the Ivory Coast. Now think about this. I don't want to talk too much about this. We've had 3 visitors from the Ivory Coast come to Trinidad who visited the Kwame Ture Center. 2 of them are dual citizens with the United States. Well, the 3rd one hasn't gotten here as yet. But the first 2 are traveling on United States passports, but they're also Ivory Coast nationals, born there, etc., but businessmen in America. The 3rd visitor, who's the higher profile visitor from the Ivory Coast, he's traveling on an Ivory Coast passport. Would you believe he's getting problems to come into Trinidad because he's traveling on an African passport? Has to get a visa, had to cancel it's all of these issues, man. Caller, good morning.
Good morning to you, David Mohammed. Blessed
how are you doing, my brother?
I am there. I hear. I listen to your Tyler, Porcelain Tyler, 10 contribution. That is good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I will see what I can do. You understand? Anyhow, I will see how I can do with that, because I am all put on some Porcelain Tyler and all, but the smaller one, that is the 18 by 18. You understand? Right. And you're right about the price. They're kind of expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they look great.
Hello. Yeah, they look. It's strong. It's strong. Yeah. It's really strong. It's worth the money. You understand? So I want to speak about something concerning what you speak about earlier on, concerning African people loving themselves, pulling themselves together with the finances and all that, to build ourselves, purchasing land and all that. And that is a great idea. But the question is, you are doing a great job, and a lot of people like you is doing a great job at it. But how could we get the masses to follow that teaching? I mean to say, yes, we have a lot of people are learning and following that teaching. You understand? And I was watching something and following up something this week here, last week in a matter of fact, and this week. I was listening to close attention to the people in Trinidad and Tobago. A lot of African people is in that as well. But mostly Africans and the Indians in that. Concerning the vaccine. But the poll is saying over 600,000 people take the double dose. 500 and something thousand people take the single dose. Which means we have over 1 million people already take a vaccine in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, if I'm wrong, this is what I'm hearing from the Ministry of Health or the Minister of Health or whatever. My question is this, you understand? I don't want to question what they're doing or what they're saying. But I'm trying to use some common sense here. You understand? Just like how these people believe, you understand, the vaccine is the cure. You understand? Why the same people today, politicians, the people who is also the claiming that is getting sick because they are not mandatory? I ask myself, I question this, you understand? Because on the ground here, there's a lot of angry people. This guy, he worked taxi, and he was saying his grandmother took the vaccine in a couple of days after she passed. And he is angry because he is claiming that it's the vaccine what killed his grandmother. Because his grandmother was a person who grew up in the countryside, eating dashina and yam, and she was a strong woman. She had no illness before. But as soon as she take the vaccine, she passed on. And he's angry and he's saying words like he wants revenge. I don't know what kind of revenge he's talking about, because he did not say. But there's a lot of angry people who is silenced. You're not hearing them speaking on the radio. You're not hearing them interviewing the grief anywhere on the news or anything like that. But a lot of people on the ground here is going about is very angry because what they are seeing the family members, if it's brothers, sisters, and uncle, grandmother, grandfather, they are seeing people is dropping. It's over 2,000 deaths we had since this thing started, right? And the Ministry of Education is they're telling you some things, but the people believe they're not telling them what they need to hear.
Yeah. Well, we have to think, as I started off, we have to focus on and reflect on the fact that point number 5 in the 10-point plan of action for reparations for African people for slavery is the public health crisis. And this calls upon us to be more mindful of our health, eating more fruits and vegetables, drinking more water, exercising, fasting, praying, eating good food, staying away from the pig or too much meats in general. This is the lifestyle that we have to live. No vaccine can do that for us. It's our responsibility to do that for ourselves. But thanks a lot for your call. We're not really talking about that much. You know how that goes. Caller, good morning.
Let me say good morning to you, Brother Mohammed.
Good morning.
And it's always human beings' responsibility to take care of themselves. So no matter what sickness you have in the world, you as an individual, it takes good health for your own self. Because it's like this, you're young. When you're young, you could run fast, you could walk fast, you could do anything fast. But when you reach only 8 years, you have to move a little slower. So you can just sit down. If you reach 40, 45, you need to go along the savannah and run, go in a gym, eat good and keep yourself fit.
Exactly.
So when you reach 60, 70, you are good to go. So don't wait until you reach 60 at the one walk or 50 to go and work.
Right, but even if you do get to 50, 60, 70 or 80 and you haven't done it as much as you should have in your earlier years, it's not too late.
Right, you should still do it.
Right.
And the moment it seems like every time we speak about Black or African, the African community is understanding. No matter time we talk, we write, we sing, the African community in Trinidad and Tobago in understanding. Because we didn't remove ourselves from watching other people. We didn't remove ourselves from political parties who just using us to put them there. And we will continue because we're not understanding when an African man talk, when an African man come and speak. You see, sometimes when an African man speak, he on his agenda. But some African people in this country is really real and is really want to help. But when that African come forward, he get licks. They call him a UNC, they call him a PNM, they call him a bottom African. And that doesn't encourage strong African people. No matter, you still have to do it because it's a fight and you know what I mean, it's a struggle. So you have to do it to the best of your interests. Whoever that person might be, to continue fighting for the African community in this country. But we have to understand that certain political parties do not work for us. Because I remember last week I listened to you speak about the young white boy who got free.
Oh, man.
From the murder. And we see this week here, 3 elderly white men get convicted, guilty for running down an African man on a van, shoot him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought they were speak about that this morning too, but I didn't speak about it.
But that was an expected verdict. This one was expected.
Well, I
but
think
last week's one was a shock.
No, well, last week one too was supposed to be the same thing too.
Right, it was supposed to have been.
Yeah.
Last week was supposed to have been a guilty verdict. Even their president said that. But let me say this here. The video that I posted about Kyle Rittenhouse, this white man who killed 2 people in public and was able to go back home like nothing. That video has just hit 109,000 views with over 3,400 comments.
Okay.
And a lot of those comments are from some angry white people in America who are saying that he was a hero. Because remember, this man was sitting at home looking at television at a Black Lives Matter protest. He became upset by what he saw. He left home, got his gun, AR-15 semi-automatic assault rifle. He went to the scene, ended up killing 2 people, shooting a 3rd, and he made it back home.
And you know...
But the white people are calling him a hero, and they're saying he was defending America.
And you know what is the hard part about it? The case we go on there some days ago with the 3 old men, white men, who killed the young African men on a van, they run them down and shoot them. You know, the jury was mostly, but was 100% white people.
Yeah, one black person.
Right. And you know that jury with the white young boy, you know, it was a mixed race there. Well, what I hear...
Well, you see, the thing is, remember, Kyle Rittenhouse, the people that he killed were white people. So he killed white people at a Black Lives Matter protest. See? So it made it a little bit peculiar.
And I, to me, I do not take Joe Biden serious. I think that I think that Trump said right, he's CP Joe, and because listen, it have a young Black African man called Terrence Williams, right? He does follow Trump, like me, you know what I mean? He does he follow Trump, and he does promote Trump, right? And this boy comes from foster home, right? A young African boy, a comedian. He's like a snack he make comedy. And this young African boy called Terrence Williams, he comes from foster homes, and he write a book called Foster Homes to the White House, because Trump bring him in the White House, because he was just a blogger on Facebook supporting Trump, talking about Trump legacy, talking about Trump do for the African community. You are talking about Trump. Today, that young boy is a millionaire, they could say, by selling his books, by selling his jerseys, by advertising Trump. And I want to say this: do you think that if this boy was promoting Obama, do you think that they'll be rich? Look, right now, he's making his own pancakes in a box. The African people say it's for white people. He's making that for, so they're buying it. They're buying it because he's a naturally chum boy, African chum. He's a naturally chum boy, and he come on the live the other and say, "All you can say, my pancakes is for only white people." He said pancakes for everybody. So that's my mama. We as African people have to know, because sometimes a different race really will help you, really will push you. You know what I mean? So not all the race against us, not all the race for us, because we see in the Black Lives Matters, many white people come out and join us to march. It would be like down here, if an African man gets killed, you ain't see no other race come to join in me here. If we start a protest anyway in the African community for wrongdoing, they wouldn't come out and help us. But you see in America, the Spanish, the Mexicans, it'd be a 1%. But they still show this support for the Black Lives Matter. But in this country, if you come out and speak for African people, the other race watch you like, wow, we saying he racist, he's a black racist, he's not no, come on, because this is will be healthy for our country. But I'm at a close. I am concerned today in this country how my country is running. I am seeing that there's people in this country, Brother Mohammed, want to disturb this country. Any means necessary. Because I hate this one, and I don't like this one. Brother Mohammed, the three things, what is dividing this country from moving forward? Race, religion, and politics. Who is African? Who is Indian? Who is Hindu? Who is Christian? Who is Muslim? Who's supporting PNM? Who's supporting UNC? We're not fighting. Here what we're doing there. We're fighting to remove Kamala. We're fighting to remove Rowley. We're not fighting to fix our constitution. What is the main thing? Because if we take somebody good and put them in that nasty system, what that system is corrupted, and you have to tote party line. But Mama, we have to start to fight. Yeah. Because we have we have people in the jail suffering for 15 years. Now just use them locked up for using obscene language. We have to fight, because if we move Robin now, do you think the process of picking a commissioner will change? Do you think that if we move Robin now, that the method they use to pick the president, it will change? It will never change.
But the system remains the same. This is why we have to insulate ourselves from it.
And fight as a people together, always together, to make sure that these 41 politicians, I'm in the room, so I left not the room. But I thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Brother David.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir. Brother David, yes. I have about 2 points. I feel I'm going to make about 2.
Go on. See how quickly you can do it.
That people want to come in. The first one, how much people have in the world? About 8 billion, Brother David?
Just about that.
Hello?
Yes. Yes, go ahead, sir. Don't know what happened there, but you could try calling back. Caller, good morning.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Mohammed, my brother. I'm sorry. You are constitutional according to my mother, yes? Because this we talking about this morning. This is our business, black people business. What I want to hear is how much titles you're going to contribute, you understand, towards flowing that place. I don't want to hear all the big politicians. The politicians had a game to play. They don't play the game. I understand the politicians. But anyway, I am going to make, I wouldn't be there today, but I'll pass some time and I'll make a contribution of 40 times. I'll drop that there sometime. Understand? This is, you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, okay, right, yes. But anyway, I want to say also to the sister from Bataria, I left something there for you. Two of them taking a little, Dr. Ben and Dr. Africa, but the information you will get there. So I left it there yesterday, right, for you, so somebody can collect it for you. But David, I saw something on the television and it takes me right back into one of those DVDs that was Asia, Africans in Asia, a certain in Uganda, the Chinese up there. And this guy, he must have taken a piece of cobalt and had it. And you know what the Chinese had this African soldier doing? They stood up and had him beating this man for taking a piece of cobalt. You understand?
Taking a piece of what?
The cobalt, because the cobalt.
Cobalt?
Yeah, cobalt.
Yeah.
And they stood up there and have him beating this man. I went viral. And then the minister now came in and they said they took some action, they arrested them, but the arrest was nothing, they let them go in no time at all. So it take me back when they show you the slave masters stood up and had the two slaves hold on this African and the other one beating him. And to him, the enemy is those that are beating him, you know. Not the one that stood up there and have them, you understand, beat him. You understand? Because the Chinese not easy, you know. The Chinese not easy. We catch 21 of them in a container here. We ain't nothing about that at all. They come in China, they're making all the money. They're using the Venezuelans, you understand, to at the counter. And Africans, you understand, cleaning down the place and putting all the heavy load on the circuit. You have to understand what is going on. This morning, you have a serious thing here, and we want to hear people, if this was I'm going to go to other people, if there's other people calling, you understand, for that here. Did I hear people coming in and say, coming with politics, young politics, every living day. This is the only hour or 2 hours that we have. We can deal with our business, whether they with African people business, the struggle that we are in, the struggle that we are undergoing. As I said, they baptize us, they educate us, they enslave us, and then they bury us. The children are the ones we have to deal with, the young ones, to get that thing, that slave mentality, that evil that they have put onto us. I remember when I went to go to school, elementary school, I went in the church, we had to go in the church to say communion and all this sort of thing. And I walk around watching all these things, and it never left me up to today. All were white, there was one black saint, and his name was Saint Martin the Porritt. That stayed with me at a young age, you understand? And that my consciousness started to develop from that early stage. Brother David, we have to deal with our business now. Do the politics for the politician, because they don't care about us, you know. If the politicians care about us in Tobago, all those that still need titles for their land, they don't get it because there are black politicians in power. We had power, there's three of them, and then we had those for the THA. We ain't nothing about that. But you come to talk about politics. Brother, my mother, you are a real constitution, my brother. How about good day, my brother? I wish you safe.
Same to you, my brother.
Let somebody collect it for you.
Yes. Caller, good morning. Caller.
Hello, brother David.
Yes.
Yeah, let me make it quick there. Yeah, about 8 billion people in the world.
Yeah,
right?
8 billion.
Right. If you cut that by half, that is 8 billion. That is 4 billion. 4 billion. You multiply the average price of a shot. One of them vaccine and let me say wrong. Let me give it $8. Right. You multiply that 8 by 4. That is 32 billion. And that 32 billion, if you multiply that, because remember it's 2 and 3 shots, so we will just give it 2 shots. Right. So that is 32. That is $64 billion to be made. So this thing just turned into a big farce. And I don't know, well, how we in the western part of the world, I don't know if, well, not much people getting hold of the information, but what they was after they had an investigation when it comes to Pfizer, and people see what's going on. Pfizer doing what Pfizer does normally do. Yeah, because that's why I wasn't telling people don't take the vaccine. I was just telling people stay away from Pfizer. And that's why they get mad when I see that they wanted to give it to the children, and that get me crazy. Yeah, but at the end of the day, nobody, they really letting anybody discuss this vaccine thing and them pharmaceutical companies and them much, because I hear prominent YouTubers say flat anybody talk about them on YouTube, they used to shut you down. Yeah, they say you had to leave that alone. Yeah, one time you used to get flagged if you only mention anything. Yeah, but I even one more thing. One more thing. Trinidad and Tobago. You see, African people. I don't want to get malicious with this. It's kind of malicious, but I don't want to sound kind of ignorant with it. But the two political parties. Just now, I think he said stay away from the ones that ain't working for us or nothing. None of the political party working for African people. None.
Well, yeah. Who will argue with that?
Yeah, none ain't working for us. And I telling you something, I is a PNM supporter, and I know none ain't working for us. Yeah.
No, but who will argue with that, though? Is that a contested point of view?
Huh? Hello?
I'm saying who will argue with that. But all right, well, thanks a lot for calling, though. Thank you. Thank you. Caller, good morning.
Morning, Brother David.
Good morning to you.
How you going, man? Long time, man.
Yes,
brother,
sir.
to meet you. Brother David, so that gentleman I was now talking about there with the Chinese and them, I've been talking about the same things about past 2 years. How come these Chinese them only opening business but not employ Trinidadians? So we try to tell me all them youth who come out of school every year. We didn't want to get jobs because all me them Chinese employ now is only Venezuela. So it's only you have high quality people at push trolley, high quality people at cash, high quality people at sweet floor. Just last night I go in my park of fancy restaurant to lunch bar. If Venezuela the security guard by the gate who died in traffic. I want to where my people go and get to work. I want my people over and brother David. People need to wake up, need to look, need to think. And brother David always asks us people, they're begging to please think. Just think. They do not understand David, and I keep saying over and over. I've been listening to you on in our people for the past 20 years. I mean, like we're not taking heed. The only thing Mr. African do is gunning down each other. And you must always remember, when you are a minority, you have no say. But if you are a majority, you have a say. And all Mr. Africans do is calculate out themselves. Like they just can't wait to be the minorities. So I tell myself, for the next 25 years, when all these little Venezuelans through their born here become adults and start mapping up the job space, that means we are going to end up back on the breadline where we're looking for housekeeping, or maybe landscaping, work at people, yard and all them things there. Because we don't see start already, How should we even be a pass through lunch park every day going to work whenever I used to pay? Then you can't say, well, I have to paint upon them. All of a sudden, it's Venezuelan painting the wall, painting down to the tree, them in the yard against paint. So like African can't go into work. I just start no job for them. There is unfair, it's unfair, and we now look at the people. All we're going to do is bad mind each other. Well, last time, Brother David.
All right, my brother. Thank you. Good morning.
Well, pleasant morning to you, Dr. Mohammed.
Good morning to you, sir.
And how you doing, dear doctor and friend and brother?
I am great, thank you. Hope you are.
Well, alhamdulillah. Look, I haven't abandoned the Kwame Center and yourself. You know, with the pandemic and things get a little harder, so you got to be running, 100. Yes? Look, let me hasten to say this. I want to talk about the two things: personal responsibility and personal hygiene. And why I'm telling you that, regardless to what people may say how to eat, in this hard time, you got to eat anything. But what is critical and paramount and important. You see, personal hygiene, that to me, which will keep you alive with this pandemic and this health pandemic. But let me go quickly somewhere where I haven't gone for a bit in Radio Land. It's ticklish, but I want to be careful. I honestly believe deciding this corona COVID-19 and this so-called new surge they're telling you in Botswana and on the continent of Africa, I want to believe, and this is my opinion, not the radio, not yourself, I want to believe something else killing the people. I want to believe the West, Europe, this whole new world order. I want to believe every prime minister, president, king aware of what's taking place. Now, I want to go somewhere, but I want to be careful not to get the program into trouble. A particular person who died a couple months, not too long, and I want to believe as a result of this new radiation, which the West and Europe have their hands on, I want to believe that is to the center of this whole new world order. It is mind-boggling. They know what they're about, and as they're about to complete that whole entire biological warfare, World War III, that radiation, so they would have their hands on that. To me, people are not thinking that is the center of it, and as they are about to climax, it will get more rigid. Of course, we know Corona and COVID-19 is just a cap to distract the entire world. So people, be wise, do the right thing, and let me close with the two personal hygiene and personal responsibility. Again, we understand with the pandemic, you got to eat anything, but if personal hygiene is not there, I am saying this so-called virus will kill you. It's two things. It's either they bury you or they burn you. But doctor, before I leave, let me speak this in the mic. Understand this whole new world order and to control, because you have to take into consideration, dear doctor and friend, we couldn't allow China and Russia and these so-called countries that they believe going to take over the world. So they had to reset the agenda, cover it with COVID and Corona-19, and now have this entire radiation. So that particular person who would have stood out, and I used to call him His Excellency, you would know who I'm talking about. To me, I question his death after his birthday. Radiation will do anything if you have your hands on the button. Tabakit Outano.
All right, thank you. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, good morning.
How are you?
I am good, give thanks, I am good.
Lovely, 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 lovely.
Yeah. I want to acknowledge the brother who left me the things there, and I will most definitely go and collect it.
Right.
Yeah, but Mr. Tabakit, that brother there, I respect him, and his contributions are always valid. But you see the eat anything part? No, sir, we just can't eat anything. That is a kind of a ticklish thing. Can't eat anything. That I have concern about. But anyways, I'm here and I'm listening, and I hope the work that is to be done on the center is moving on. I really do hope that is moving on.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, and thank you so much for your very generous
most
contribution as well.
Most welcome. My duty. Bye.
Good morning.
My brother teacher.
How are you, sir?
I'm good, and you?
I'm great, thanks.
You know, I guess you understand everybody. No, God said, you know, watch man, here's what you have to want. So when people live in a life, and you know, they feel they do something, doing something good, they have a good heart, but other things, they're doing wrong. In a sense that, let me say this job. Why people coming on the radio and calling people stupid because they're not taking that job? So, in other words, what I'm trying to say, the heart of a man is...
You break it up a bit.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. And you know, I don't watch people again. That's why I started, watch the heart of people. Because we live in a life, we're not agreeing with the wrong things in a sense that people show you that that is the right thing. And we live in, and we just all about the place. Like a man said just now, we live on the politics. And that's the root of the downfall of the black man. Politics. You understand? So, we have to watch all the different fields. You understand? We have to watch all the different fields. And you understand, search them. Because black people is in everything. Everything that the thing is don't press the black man. So, we can't leave out nothing. But it has people, because, they're not friend and, they consider man, I consider them, and they're doing the wrong. And people just quiet. Why? This is what I really don't want to see, that quietness. Quietness is a dangerous thing. It's also a good thing, but it's a dangerous thing. Why are we staying quiet? Why are we not coming out and saying, that is right? You understand? So when people feel the good and the thing, the heart, my friend, is destroying them. You see reality, that is the heart. When you watch somebody's heart, they'll show you how they're watching reality. You understand? And reality is a serious thing to learn from in order to know the real. If you understand where I'm going?
Yeah.
People not coming together in a sense that let us agree and search everything and start to agree on things. Let us come together and don't say you don't want to do this. You should. No.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely agree. Thanks for calling. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Mr. Mohammed.
Good morning to you.
Yes. First thing first, the black people have to unite. If we don't unite, we will always be weak in mind, body, and soul. Now, I lost my wife 4 weeks ago to cervical cancer.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yes. And to see...
How old was she?
She was 49.
49? Damn.
Yeah. And to see your loved ones succumb to that, Brother Mohammed, it just be a sight you wouldn't want to see. And I wouldn't wish that on my own enemies. Our lifestyle has changed. Our eating habits change. We don't do the things that we forefathers used to do. We doesn't go to the sun and walk again. Everybody wants AC. Sun have vitamins. Our eating habits change from a long time. So immune system gets so weak that anything that we put in our mouth, we get sick one time. And next thing too, we're looking for black male leaders. And we're not seeing much of it in the country, not any Christian.
Well, we have to make them out of the youth that we have.
Yes.
We have to work with them, help them, support them, not beat them down and try to discourage them.
Yes. And when I see some black men
make a makeshift coffin, and walking on the streets. I thought, well, something had to be wrong here. Why they always getting the black men to do these kind of things? And the black men not thinking and all doing that just for us to scrums and they giving us and we just walking away. We have to get back strong in our mind, have to be conscious. Because we're not conscious again of what we are doing. All we want is just easy money, and we get the easy money now, we just walk away and laugh.
Yep.
We have to go back to how we were. And if we go back there, we'll always be running around in circles and fighting amongst ourselves. The other groups of them are organizing and uniting and coming together and supporting each other. Once we keep on fighting on each other, we'll always be weak. And that was since in the days of slavery. The slavery put the brown-skinned people inside, the dark-skinned people outside. They always tell us that the black man had to be stronger than the black man. And that is always something that we have to talk about. Because if we don't talk about it, it will always be something running around the circles. Look what goes on to Tobago. I don't care what nobody say. It has a certain individual, it has a certain group of people in the country concerned about land. This land they want in Tobago. And if these people in Tobago in fight, because they say in slavery, most of our rebellions happening in Tobago. The Tobago people have to fight for who they want, and if they have other people telling them what to do, it will always be in a mess. You know, Mohammed? That was always bothering me. We have to go back to how we were. If we go back to how we were, we will always be fighting amongst ourselves. I work in hospital. Most of the COVID cases they're seeing is people of my color. What is that? What is that? But Mama, have a nice morning.
Thank you, my brother, and I'm really sorry to hear about your wife. Blessings. All right. Caller, good morning.
Yes, my brothers. I want to say one thing. I forgot to commend you on the great job you are doing with the youth on them. You understand? My friend, you keep on doing what you're doing. You're calling for the Almighty Father. And one more thing. In the scripture say, the beast will come out of the water. That is what we lacking. You see that sea bath? I'm talking about because the place of the sea, I rushing. You see that salt water? It's a very good thing. It's a healthy thing. The beast will come out of the water. That beast, that COVID, my friend, that salt water will eat it. And people understand, and the man make a good point. When you lock up inside, your immune system getting weak. So when they come out there, and anything at the immune system attack, you understand, it's not the strength to keep it away. This is what causing the spread, the lockdown, and we're not even in the sea. The beast will come out of the water. My friend, have a good day.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Good morning, caller.
A blessed morning, Brother David.
Blessings.
You see, all those African people who lead in the African Union, they're selling out Africa, Brother David. You hear what I'm telling you? The cobalt is the main ingredient for all electrical businesses going on, electric cars and all cell these phones, different. Yeah. Yes, and you know what? According to our caller, they're telling Africans, beat Africans, and that's what Chinese doing. We are it with the Europeans, now we are it with the Chinese. Thank you very much, Brother David.
All right, thank you, my brother. And this is where I leave it for this morning. I'll be back on next week, Saturday, inshallah, for the Black Agenda. Remember, African Expo number 10 today at the Kwame Ture Center. Be a part of that positive, progressive history that's really seeking to help develop our youth and support the drive for the tiles. Like I said, we want to start in early January, but we're starting the fundraising from now. It's basically $75 for one tile. We have to purchase 1,000 plus the labor, the grout, the thin set, the other materials, etc. So let's stay conscious, people, and let's focus on staying healthy, staying fit, staying clean, staying positive, both mentally, physically, and spiritually. All right, let's contribute towards our rise and not our demise. So, beloved family, stay tuned to the Street 919 FM. You can look out for me on Wednesday evening live on Facebook on the Black Agenda Project Facebook page at 8 o'clock. Stay tuned to the Street. May Almighty God Allah continue to bless you as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.